Hi, good morning, afternoon, evening, and night to all. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the 8 ATSCast. As usual, this is your neighborhood dude Jude, your host, and with me is the rest of the ATS Heartbeat. So, in alphabetical order, say what's up, Aaron,
What's up, dude?
Abid,
What's up, duh? What's up, duh?
Jason. Wow, that was a long what's up.
What's up,
Jason?
man? What's up, man?
Alright. So, in this episode, our good bro Amir is with us. So, Amir, say what's up.
What's up, dude?
Hey, gang.
Hey, gang.
Gang, yo. So, yo, thanks, Amir, for being here. And as usual, to everyone. Now, Amir, so, like, you mentioned the last time you were here in the podcast, you currently study in UW, right? University of Washington, correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Like, so, although we're aware that you're back in Malaysia currently for the meantime, so how has your experience in Seattle been so far?
It's been an interesting time. You meet some interesting characters along the way with different aspirations as to what they want in life. Some are focusing on the future, going for work conventions like almost every other month, while others are just living in the moment. So I feel like that's a good mix of people that you meet along the way, and I and it helps you grow as well individually.
That's interesting. I mean, like clearly the one thing that Seattle has going for it is, its proximity to the Canadian border. Do you think that the factor of being a Canadian neighbor has provided such a different dynamic to Seattle than compared to other American cities?
Well, I never considered it when I moved to Seattle. It was like during my second year where I finally realized that maybe I should like travel to Canada, say Vancouver, because it's so close by, and make use of the geographical advantage as it is. So I'd
Hmm.
agree so, because definitely there's a lot of Canadians that go to UW in general, and well, it it has to be like a hidden advantage to go to Vancouver as well, especially when you don't need a visa or it's very easy to just travel.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, I guess that's understandable considering how close you guys are, in terms of, right, being right at the border. But in topic with this different dynamic that we were talking about, let's explore it further. So, this is a question to all of y'all. What would you guys say is the first thing that pops to your mind when you think of Canada? Um, I mean, most relevant, right? Abid is living in Canada right now, so what do you think, Abid?
666 Toronto gang. Uh, when I wasn't living here, for sure, maple syrup, probably. I think that's like most people's go-to. It's probably
It's like,
maple syrup, how nice Canadian people are, or what would it be? I feel like those two are probably the main two, isn't it? That's represented in
Maple
pop
syrup
culture
said
anyway.
different though.
Maple syrup does hit different, that is facts, but I
well,
feel
is it
like
true
those two
that
are probably prominent in pop culture.
Yeah.
their like currency smells like maple syrup? People have been
That is
talking about.
factual. I
Wait,
was
Wait,
mind
really?
blown
for
that
real?
when that
Yeah,
happened.
like that is such a
Wait, I
weird.
made you smell it, Aaron, like a year ago or 2 years ago, whenever I went
I
back.
mean, that sounds weird out of context, but yes.
I made you. Huh. What else? I don't know what else I made you smell, but I meant the currency, the note.
Uh,
The
uh,
I think I made you guys smell a $5 note or a $20 note.
I don't remember this, but damn, that's wild.
But yeah, there's this little speck on the Canadian dollar where it just says Canadian dollar and it just smells like maple. There's a maple leaf on it and it just smells like maple syrup, which is kind of wild. I don't know how
Wait,
they do that, but it's crazy.
I just took out my wallet and have a $5 bill. So you said it's by the maple leaf, you say?
Yes, I can tell you exactly where. You see the maple leaf on the left below where it says Canada?
Yeah.
That spot is exactly where the maple syrup is.
You can smell.
Also,
I can smell
I
it
mean,
right
it
now.
also depends if you've kept it in your wallet and stuff. It's probably gonna smell
Ah,
more like your wallet than the
you're
maple
right.
syrup.
Okay, I see. I see.
So I mean, my $5, I just brought it out and I tried it, and my $5 bill smells like leather.
I mean,
So if you get a
next
fresh
ATS
note out of the ATM or something, you can smell it for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, next
Interesting.
ATS video should be a taste test.
Of the Canadian dollar.
The Canadian maple
tasting the
sign.
Canadian dollar.
Just
Nice
eating
one.
money, dude.
Fuck,
Actually,
dude. I don't speak
we're-
rich, dude.
dude, that's too rich, bro. Only Jason can relate. Cap. Anyway.
Cap.
Now what you mean, bro? Bro.
I mean, speaking of relating, Jason, what do you think? What is the first
Um,
thing that pops?
I'd say maple leaves and just the cold weather.
Oh,
Like
cold
for some
weather.
reason,
Cold
like
weather, huh?
seriously,
Cold
really,
weather's a
really
good one.
cold weather. Because
Yeah.
like it's way up in the north and it's close to Alaska. I don't know how close it is to Alaska, but
Alaska's further up. Yeah.
yeah. So that's I mean that's the first impression I have of Canada, and obviously yeah, the whole maple leaves thing, and
Mhm.
yeah.
Would you say likewise,
Nothing.
Amir?
Pardon?
Would you say likewise that like it's maple syrup, or what's your take on the question?
I'll say Robin Scherbatsky from How I Met Your Mother.
Hey, let's go, baby.
I had zero like conceptions of Canada when I was young,
Let's go, bro.
and she was the first one that, even though it was like a bit skewed because this America Canada dynamic was always skewing Canada in like a bad light. It's like
Mm-hmm.
all these stereotypes of like they're scared of the dark, they're
Yeah, how about that, hoser?
their funny accents.
How about that,
Oh,
hoser?
funny accents.
How about that, eh? How about that, eh, hoser?
And it's just a nice attitudes, which you can see in real life as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just predicating everything based on a TV show and a TV character, no
Don't
less.
worry, dude. Same, actually. Yeah.
I mean, when you're that far away, right, Aaron, from like North
Yeah.
America, it's difficult to like actually understand how the culture is like from countries so far away. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think similar to Amir, like my view of Canada was built through pop culture and through television shows and stuff like that. And like one show which built my view of Canada is Family Guy. Whenever a Canadian whenever there's a Canadian character, like they meme it hard, right? Like it's always like super nice, like getting beat up and he's still apologizing, sort of thing. But I think it's kind of stuck in my head that Canadians are like really nice people, and it's kind of a good stereotype to have, in my opinion. So yeah, it would be they're really nice people. Um, I don't know what the maple leaf symbolizes. All I know is that I attached the maple leaf to Canada. When I went to the U.S. and I saw a maple leaf on the floor,
Uh,
first thing that comes into my head is Canada. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's on the flag.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean back then it didn't really, not like I really cared about the flag, right? It's just something about the country and the maple leaf. Every time I think of Canada, I think of the maple leaf. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I mean, I guess it's a pretty big part of their identity, right? Albeit, if I'm correct, isn't there a team in Toronto based called the Maple Leafs? If I'm
Yes, sir. The Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won in a while, but it's okay. Best team in the NHL,
Yeah.
regardless.
Wilting, dude.
Represent the hometown.
Wilting, dude, Wilting.
I mean, have
Yo,
they been too nice?
bro, relax, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Maple
Hey,
Leafs will
changing
win
seasons,
eventually.
man. Changing seasons.
Honestly, that's another stereotype. Actually, is that Canadians only watch hockey, and there is certain amount of truth to it, because I meet a lot of people here who maybe not into sports in general, but they love the Maple Leafs and hockey, like watching hockey based on their regional team, which is kind of wild. I
so
mean,
what
we
happened when the
experienced it in
Raptors
CPU.
won?
Oh,
Shit.
dude, all of Toronto fucking exploded, man. I mean, Canada really exploded because that was a win for the country because it's the only team
Yeah, true.
Right.
That is
representing
true.
the country as a whole.
Raptor.
Yeah, it exploded everywhere, dude. I wasn't even in the city, unfortunately, at the time. But I got back when all the parades and everything happened, and it was crazy. There was like traffic, like all the roads downtown was closed. I think there were like 4 million people downtown with the Raptors team
Crazy.
celebrating the win, and Drake was there too, obviously, and stuff like that.
Of course, Drake
I
was
mean, like,
there.
no, there were just a bunch of pop culture, like, you know,
Celebrities?
celebrities. There were a lot of celebrities and people, icons of pop culture. Drake. There's this Indian dude who's been to every Raptors game
Oh,
since
yeah.
1995. Yeah.
He's a legend.
Wow,
This
1985.
dude's yeah. Since the Raptors were born, he's been to every single Raptors game. And I'm not even exaggerating that. He got a ring when they won.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was given a ring too
Yeah.
when they won the NBA.
I think
He's
there's
played for.
another super fan that got a ring too.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a big moment. People went crazy, and I feel like it was the first time, like, on a more global scale, Canada achieved like something great in the entertainment front. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, their musicians and everything are famous worldwide and stuff, but I mean, in the sports area specifically, NBA is obviously worldwide, so
That's true.
yeah,
That is true.
it's pretty crazy.
Mhm. I mean, we'll go talk about the music thing after because there's a lot to talk about regarding Canadian pop culture. Um, but let's go back to the stereotypes that we were discussing. Like when I talk to friends about Canada, the first thing that gets attributed with the country is like how welcoming the people are there. And I have looked it up. Like not only have they accepted more than 300,000 immigrants last year alone, right? Like they actually have an established pathway to permanent residence and even citizenship, which although it might be commonsensical, like some countries actually lack that clear-cut pathway.
America, America.
Yeah. Well, and what surprises me is, well, I'm here in LA, right? And I get news saying that Canada has welcomed over 19,000 new permanent residencies last month. Like, even within the pandemic, they're managing such numbers. So, Abid, as usual, you're in Ontario, right? You've brought your entire
Sure.
family with you there. Do these numbers surprise you? Do these
Uh,
numbers actually
these
surprise? Yeah.
numbers do not surprise me. Actually, I think Canada overall is a welcoming country, and I think since Trudeau came into power, he's really pushed for this, whole idea of more immigration, more immigrants, and having more people come into the country. I mean, Canada's a big country. I think it's the third biggest in the world, if I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
behind China and Russia. And um, with all that space, the population is in comparison tiny, but it's tiny for a reason because it's too damn cold up there for people to live. But anyway, like it's still the population size is very little still. So they just want more people here to do more things, both on the economic and society front, on the sociological front. It
Mhm.
doesn't surprise me, especially because so what's interesting is the numbers you literally just it's second. Oh, I didn't even know. See, I always knew it was top three, but thanks, Amir. Amir just so for the folks listening, Amir just hit me with the fact that Canada is the second biggest country. I knew this at some point, but my memory is awful.
Hit you with the hard facts, dude.
Yes, sir.
Hey, don't
I
tell the
appreciate
people down the border.
appreciate
Oh
that.
yes.
Appreciate that. So going on the numbers you were just discussing, actually, me and my dad were discussing those very numbers. No lie, like 3 4 days ago, and he was basically saying like, yeah, they just want more people in here, and there are a lot of people who came in as refugees and asylum seekers and stuff like that, right? Basically, people who had nowhere else to go. Their process was expedited even faster. So amongst those, like you said, 12,000, right? If I'm not mistaken,
Mhm.
or 19,000, whatever it may be.
19,000, 19,000.
19,000, yeah. Out of those 19,000, I think 45% were those seeking refuge or asylum in Canada. And the rest were, cases of people just migrating in general. I
Um,
mean, since I've moved, I can confirm that people here are friendly. They're very welcoming, at least where I am. I can't speak, obviously, for all of Canada, but in Toronto, I mean, it's a multicultural city, um, and yeah, it's just open. Everyone's being themselves, and no one really hates on anything. America, yeah,
I mean, I'm glad you coughed the
yeah, that's a
topic that we
bad cough,
should be
bro.
focusing on
Yeah, man.
because the refugee crisis is not something that Canada also only experiences, right? It's a worldwide thing, but why is Canada's response so unique? Is it because they have extra land up north that they can use? I mean, that's a joke,
Extra
but
land,
like,
I think, yeah. Extra land is the easiest option, but even then, most people do settle in the more populated areas, right? Like, refugees are often settled in Ontario or Alberta, um, the Niue in Newfoundland and stuff. But Saskatchewan, they're placed all over the place. But I think overall, they're just a welcoming kind of people. You know, they don't shy away from letting people in. Whereas in
mhm,
other countries, it is quite the opposite, right? They don't want
Yeah, that is true.
outsiders to be entering. America being a prime example, right? It's so
Mm.
difficult for people to get in the country, no matter which form of visitation it might be, whether it's
That's
me
true.
just going there to, visit the country, or
mhm.
it's someone moving there, try and get a green card or whatever it may be. I think
Yeah.
It's
Canada
a
on
big
that side
hassle.
is very open in that sense.
Hmm. I mean, yeah, that is true. Like, I mean, Aaron, you've talked about the possibility of studying as an exchange student in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're in Malaysia. What has motivated you to travel more than 12,000 kilometers to study in a faraway country, right? Like, that just seems so,
Yeah.
it
It
Yo,
seems too much of a
I'm
hassle.
loving these figures that Jude's throwing tonight. I like
yeah.
it.
Fact dude.
I like the facts,
It's
bro.
far. It's freaking far. Coming from
I can
LA to,
confirm it is far.
It is very far.
I've
yeah,
taken multiple flights multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is far.
Um, it is
just
it
because
is
the
a bit
office
of
there.
no, no offense, Abid.
I
No
would
offense,
really
but
hope not. I
no.
would really hope not.
Uh, yeah, not. I'm not Josh. Anyway, yeah. It's.
Damn.
I feel like it's interesting because a lot of students that travel overseas, a lot of them do it to get experience, to live in a different country, to experience uni life elsewhere. Especially before you get, before you start working, you start doing your 9 to 5, right? You want to be able to do things that you wouldn't be able to do in the constraints of your home country. And I feel like um, I'd always wanted to go to North America as a learning experience, and I wanted to be a lot more open minded as well when by going there, um, widen my horizons. But after 2016, I realized that America, or at least the US, isn't where I want to go, due to very obvious reasons. And I think the next choice for me then would just be Canada, because it's it's just relatively, all these positive stereotypes. You don't really see positive stereotypes very often of countries. When you hear things about countries, you always hear the worst parts of it. Like if you hear people talk about Malaysians, they're always like, "Oh, Malaysians are lazy." When you hear people talking about, Americans, or Americans are stupid, right? Like there's all these negative stereotypes out there. People like to throw negative stereotypes, but when I look at Canada, it's actually there's not many negative stereotypes that I've heard of. If anything, it's like they're too nice, which is something that I'm very
Yeah.
interested to go experience for myself.
And
Um,
confirm.
yeah, I want
Can
to I want to I
confirm.
want to go there and experience it and see like what is all the craze about this place. And I really like the weather there. The weather I feel like is ideal. I like the cold,
True.
so yeah, it would be an interesting experience.
And I mean, yeah. Speaking of being too nice, right? Like another factor that solidifies this Canadian hospitality is like their general treatment of immigrants even after they've settled in. Like normally there'd be an afterthought by then. Like Abid, I'm sure you're aware of the flexible work permits they give to students after they graduate,
Yes,
and
yes, I'm aware.
along with the numerous opportunities for co-op when you're in the country, which are absent in a lot of educational systems worldwide. Um,
Yeah, that's true.
has this work flexibility aided you in settling down a bit? Or has it at least assured you of your security in the near future?
Oh yeah, for sure. It has assured me of a lot of security, to be honest. I mean, although a work permit and a PR and all that, I don't know what's down the line. Hopefully, all of that, but yeah, the sense of security I have is far greater than I feel like most of my colleagues and even my friends, to be honest, to be frank. Um, well, those abroad anyway. I mean, you, Amir, and Jason are all in the U.S., right?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
sir.
After you're done with school, you basically have to dip, but you have a year to find a job, if I'm not mistaken. Is that how it works?
Months, not even a year.
Okay, you have a few months to find a job. If you don't, you're basically kicked out, right? Quite essentially. Am I wrong in saying that?
No, you're not. No, you're not.
You're accurate.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
Nope.
Canada, here's what's up. So after I finish uni, I have a 2 year guaranteed, well, 3 years now because of COVID. I have a 3 year guaranteed extension on my student visa, which is provide will be in conjunction with U of T, but it's provided by the government for me to stay here, look for a job or find entrepreneurial you know aspect or whatever it may be, like just find some sort of footing here. I have 3 years just to sit around literally and just look for jobs and try to find some sort of settlement in that front. Um, so I mean, that's like a big thing that's just gone out of my mind instantly. You're talking about co-op and stuff. Yeah, I mean, my university provides so many additional services in that sense, and I mean, even the government tries to help the best way they can. So yeah, I mean, as unfortunate as it is, it's true. Like you guys, after you finish uni, it's like if you want to stay, you have to find something very instant, right? Or you're pretty
mhm.
much shit out of luck. Whereas I have that flexibility of mind where I can be like, okay, let me try for 3 years. If nothing, I can just go back or whatever it may be. And 3 years is a long time, right? It's a long enough time.
Yeah, it's
Like
a
if
nice grace period there.
yeah, you'll either find something or maybe it wasn't meant to be, but whatever it may be, that's a lot of time to be flexible and just think about it, go
Mhm.
through it, and it just offers some extra relief on the life side of things, really.
Yeah, it's a good thing you pointed this out in the conversation because, yeah, Jason and Amir, well, I mean, we three are studying in America currently. I think such hospitality is completely foreign to our ears, right? Have you,
That's a nice
I
way to
mean,
say it.
and Aaron, I mean, you're technically not American, but part of your family is American, correct? Like,
I know
it
enough
just,
about it. Yeah.
like, it's crazy concerning, like, the recent ban on international students who study in universities with online classes. Like that's such a good example of the difference
Yeah.
between how the government here in America treats the internationals compared to the government in Canada.
Mm.
Like even when it was overturned, like the ruling, it just made us feel so unwelcome.
Yeah.
Like
But yeah, but I think you know, as it like government policy is shaped off of the what the people want, and like what Abid was saying earlier, which the people are welcoming. It's not that the government is welcoming, yes, but the government is only welcoming because the people are welcoming. If the people weren't welcoming, like in America, I know a lot of people, family even, that have the same share the same views as the Trump administration has against foreign students, immigrants and stuff like that. And the policies that are shaped from that, are backed by the people. So as much as as much as I give, we can give the government credit, the Canadian government credit for being so welcoming. At the end of the day, countries with people that aren't fond of immigrants will have policies that push immigrants out, and that is what we see with America. I feel. But yeah, sorry, continue.
no, that's a good point. Like you're right, the government is liable to the people, and I can understand that because living in America, you do see the opinions certain people have. It's as
Yeah,
if
for sure.
it's as if refugees. Am I wrong, Amir, Jason? Like, I feel like I'm not in the minority with this
Bro, I've
opinion.
never been to America, and I can say that's facts.
I mean, yeah, Jason, do you want to add to anything? Considering you've been trying to find, well, you have a job now, but you've gone through that experience of,
Yay.
Let's
you
I
know,
go.
mean, the job hunting process is still a lot harder, for like internationals in general, because they don't see, at least from my experiences, they don't really, they see your qualifications for sure, but then
mhm,
once they hear like oh, you need a sponsorship, like then they just immediately, change their minds, So at least from the past few interviews I've had in the first the first few months. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a different treatment, huh? I mean, as Aaron has been saying, like they're entitled to their opinion, but if the mass opinion is like that, it's really difficult to change. So,
It's
Amir,
tough.
yeah, what have your thoughts been regarding all of this? I mean, if you want to, you could literally. I mean, when you were in Seattle, you could have just chowed to Vancouver because it's not America.
I mean, could I? You
I
mean
mean,
as a holiday or as
I mean, as
a
a holiday, yeah. But
As a
yeah,
permanent
in general,
standing.
actually, expand your thoughts. What do you mean by that? Like, would you?
uh I mean, I don't think it's any different. I mean, most of what
Okay.
I choose in my like path is basically it's usually on a realistic space. I don't see
Mm-hmm.
Canada being that too different with America right now. Like, I mean,
Oh, okay.
my train of thought, I guess. In terms of immigration, yeah, sure, they're different. A lot of it's because of Canada's mostly underpopulated, so they have to gather more resources and more manpower into towards the country. And I agree with Aaron's point. If the population wasn't civil to the intake of like immigrants or migrant workers to the country, then everything will be for naught, and there'll be more hate towards the country. As you can see in America right now as well. It's just we're probably louder than most.
A lot
Yeah,
louder.
yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily loud, yes, facts. Big
There's,
facts.
there's the kind of like even the co-ops, um, they treat students like as they should. Students, young adults, just trying to find a way, uh, a way to progress themselves towards the future. So America can definitely like take some notes and pointers from Canada in those regards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in terms of finding a job, it really depends. I haven't really delved into it as like Jason has, and I'm sure it's been a stressful period.
Yeah.
uh,
For sure, man,
espe-
for sure.
especially with this period of uncertainties with the pandemic and sorts and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So everything just jumbles your brain. So that that's not been easy. I'm sure.
So, okay. Um, I have a question for Jude and Amir specifically, because I know we all applied for university together,
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
and both of you applied to Canadian universities too. And I know Jude picked UCLA because UCLA and all that.
True.
So,
Okay.
if the university didn't have as much prestige, would you still go to, like, would you still go to America or would you choose Canada? That's a question I want to ask. And Amir, I'm unsure if I've ever asked you why you picked UW over
I don't think
somewhere
you
in
have.
Canada. I haven't, so you can talk about that too. I'm very curious actually, because I know every time I ask Jude, Jude's like, because UCLA, and I'm like, fair enough, fair enough. It is UCLA. Can't really argue with that.
Ukla bro,
So,
ukla.
but like, if there wasn't that level of prestige behind the name, and like, there wasn't as many ranking differentials or whatever it may be, right?
Right.
Oh,
Um,
the thing of
would you
too
still
much
pick
pressure.
America or would you pick Canada? Because
I
I
think.
mean, all three of us applied to Canada, and you
Mhm.
two applied to America. So yeah, that's just I'm curious.
U of T was my first realistic choice because I never thought UCLA was a realistic choice in the first place, right? So I had my mindset on Canada the entire time. Um, so taking the factor of UCLA being realistic is a different, dynamic entirely, right? Because that would mean like, oh, I would actually have to consider, and I think that's what your question is going towards. Um, but even if UCLA is not, as you said, UCLA, it's still California, right? It's still the the cream of the crop from what I used to see in television when I was growing up, right? Because like Los Angeles is like literally where I study, and I feel like I wanted to immerse in that culture. So if UCLA was a realistic, like as you said, like if studying, let's just say if studying was in Los Angeles was a realistic choice for me, that would be a harder decision, because you're comparing for me two different dynamics that I would go into when I study in university, right? Like you're comparing one for what I see a more chill, laid back, cold weather kind of setting versus a tropical, more more vibey feel. Like that's the way I would have seen the two comparisons between location, which I feel is a really important factor in my decision. It's even. It's 50-50.
Oh,
So
Yo,
you'd basically say culture was another deciding factor for you as to where you would
yeah.
go. Yeah,
hmm
fair enough.
And I don't know. In when we were back in Malaysia, right? Like we heard about the systemic problems America has been dealing with,
Uh,
but you never, but you
Haha.
never. It's different, right? I never really felt it in Malaysia as a not feeling it in terms of like in person, but like it's not been as documented well enough. So my decision wouldn't have probably had that because I wouldn't have been aware of it that much. So, but that, yeah.
shoot.
Interesting.
Wow. I guess to preface on this, like, do you remember like when you got the letter like from the university if you got accepted or not?
hmm
are you
Did you get?
asking me or Jude or
I
both?
mean, yeah, sure, both anyone. Like, if you guys
Um,
ever been accepted to
m-
unis?
no, I mean, fair enough, fair enough. But I
Wait, that's
remember
a
exactly.
okay.
'Cause, I mean, I'm asking that purely because all three of us are abroad, so obviously acceptance would come later or whatever. I remember
Four of
exactly.
us,
Yeah,
four of us, no?
all four of us. Yeah, Jason too, kinda, I guess. Kinda, I guess. But Jason did college there too, so I mean, it was an easier transition in that sense, right?
You're at
So
Virginia,
it like,
Malaysia.
I mean, yeah, he was already there for a while, so it was more
Yeah, I
of
mean,
a
like I
easier
just
straight up transition.
transferred straight, so I
Yeah,
mean,
so I mean, there is an acceptance factor, but it's like, did you apply to multiple unis and stuff, Jason? Because I'm not aware of this. You literally only told
I
us
did.
I'm going to the U.S.
I didn't. I did apply to multiple universities in America, but yes, my mind was only set on America. Um, so
Only
yeah,
one
I
team.
never really considered other countries, but I did think the thought of Canada did cross my mind, but then I was like,
The man's is
yeah.
an American through and through, bro.
So yeah.
Anyway,
Wait.
uh,
Sorry. Can I just ask something? In Canada, when you apply for universities, do you have to pay
yes,
application fee?
it depends where
Good
you're
question.
applying to. So
Because
in Ontario,
uh
so it's based on provinces. Ontario as a whole, you pay one flat fee to apply to three universities because all the application things are under one systemic portal.
okay, yeah.
It's called OUAC.
Mhm.
But for different provinces, yeah, facts, shout outs. But different provinces, depending on the university, you might have application fees or you might not. So it varies. But that's a benefit of studying in Ontario. Jude, me, and Amir, since we did CPU, obviously,
Yeah.
and we were under the Canadian High School Board quite essentially. It made life easier for us. And if we were to apply in Ontario, it was a $150 flat fee,
Uh-huh.
and we got three applications straight off it.
That's
And
okay.
we didn't even need to send in much paperwork.
Yeah.
It was done from our school to the portal basically.
Yeah, because when I applied to universities in the US, I applied to like four different universities. Dude, I paid like $300 in application fees. I don't know why that was a thing. Because if you I applied to a university in Texas, then that was $75. I applied to what do you call it? University of Washington. I think that was also 50 or $75. Like, and then I ended up racking up in application fees. So I was just wondering if Canada had the same system. So yeah, right.
It can
Continue.
be the same, but it also depends on where you are applying to, like
Mm.
literally geographically,
Yeah.
based on which province and stuff where
Mhm.
your
Mhm.
university is.
Okay. Okay.
But okay, going back full circle, coming back to what Amir was asking, which was, do we remember when our acceptance offers came in? Yes, I do remember. It was from February to April, and I know April is very cutting it very very short, very very close. So I'm guessing that's what you're hinting at.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. so, so you so you get the letter, you feel accepted, you feel very good, and then I got this letter from UW, and it looks like a pamphlet in a way, so it feels very like grandeur, or you could say it's very extra. So it made me feel more welcomed to some degree, because it looks so fancy, and from other universities you just get a simple piece of paper in a blank in a basic letter format, so you just like whatever, and just up the ante for me. And you just pointed out that we actually got the letters pretty late. I'd say that the UW letters I got a few weeks after I got the Canadian ones as well, so that really didn't help in in the decision making. So back to your question of if I choose a Canadian university or something, or some other university over my own, because if you take out prestige, well, f- mostly it's down to like sample size that you get when you're in the whole process of things. I was in the ADP program, so I got a lot of like data from my American friends, I mean American going friends who are already there, or already traveled, so they could give me advice of those side of things. And in terms of Canada, I felt like only the CPU people were the ones that I could only talk to. And when I looked at like Abid, and how he already had like a, a roadmap of what he wants to do, or what
Whoa,
he
hold up there,
he could
Kava.
do.
Slow down there, Buckaroo.
I don't know about that, but I.
Honestly, I've never seen someone so passionate about um uh moving their studies abroad as Abid did, because it really gave me a culture shock in some ways, because he was like fully prepared. N- Mostly people are just like
Prepare to live
tunnel
away
vision
from my
into the fact.
parents.
Yeah, that is true. They just tunnel vision to the fact that they're going to a different country. They'll explore like the treats of it, the benefits, the ambience, the culture. He was he had that in mind, but he was still mainly focusing on the academics as well, like what benefits him, like in it if it proves worthy of his buck, like if it's valuable or not. So to that degree, I probably consider Canada more. Like when I made my pros and cons board of going to Toronto or UW, it was like a 60-40 split, so it was pretty close. And I really enjoyed the Canadian system as well, because I was from CPU like the rest of the boys. It really gave uh me a headache as to what to choose, and what I could offer in some ways. But in the end, I choose UW. I'll probably choose it again because of the relationships I made. I mean, look in hindsight as well.
Yeah.
But if you look at in terms of fees, outweigh more towards the Canadian side, and towards like just um the past relationships I built, like Abid and the rest of the CPU guys.
Damn,
Mm.
bro,
Damn.
that's crazy.
Would you
Yeah.
would you yeah would you have considered like not going anywhere at all if Prestige was taken out? Like, would you still have went to the UK?
Prestige is not taking out. Honestly, guys, prestige is not the biggest factor. What I choose,
But you
like
lying to
it has
yourself
it.
if it
You're
ain't,
a
bro.
lie.
Blah, bro.
You're lying
Unless
to yourself if it ain't.
It's more
Yeah.
because no, I don't see prestige as the factor, this deciding factor. It was more this university was not even in my realistic bucket. That's why it became more, it was
It was
stood
like
up on
out
a
of your
pedestal.
league until it wasn't.
Yeah, in a sense, very much, right? Um,
Damn. Imagine having Jude's mindset, bro. Can't be
Yo,
me.
wait, what made you think of that? Where were you trying to apply in UK again? Before you had this changing of minds?
the
Or changing of
UK,
direction? Yeah, where were you trying to apply to?
LSE, isn't it?
UK is a UK is a hot pot. I mean, I have a different dynamic with the way I was looking with UK because I went to CPU off of O level, so I was thinking, what, I'm never gonna go back to that system
Yo,
because
big facts.
Facts,
Right?
Big facts.
Facts.
100%.
Louder for
And
the
yeah,
people in the back, dude.
For those
Big
still doing,
facts.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sucks
but
to
F
suck.
in the chat for those kids.
wait, wait, hold on.
Sucks to suck in the UK.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, well, in their defense, we do school a year more in a sense. So,
Yeah, but their
yeah,
schooling is ass. Anyway.
Unless you're like in
I'm
I don't know,
trolling.
medicine or something.
I'm
I
trolling. I'm
understand that.
trolling.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I hope
medicine's
so.
faster, but I was actually on that very note. I was watching this podcast with someone who's a doctor, and he was saying like, yeah, like looking at American medicine programs and looking at the one in UK, it's like fucking mad, vastly different. Because although you get it faster in America, you're just more well versed in everything. Which I mean, not just America, but like North America. You know how hard it is to be in the medicine field here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's interesting.
Hmm.
But still sucks to suck, you know what I'm saying? Fuck
Damn,
the
dude.
UK.
Dude, that one UK viewer is just
NA,
like,
NA pride.
100%. 100%.
oh, dude.
Also, I do want to
Mhm.
say, yo, Amir, I don't know what UFT offer you got, bro, but my one was nice, bro. It was all nice enveloped and everything, dude. I still have it. My mom wants to frame it. I'm like, please frame that instead of my diploma when I eventually.
I don't want to see my
Honestly,
diploma
the
when I'm
same.
done, dude.
The same.
Yeah,
That
like,
carries so much
yo,
weight,
they
especially
they
emotional
accepted
weight.
me. That's bigger than me making it out. Not joking. It really isn't, but anyway.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You take us over, bro. You take us over.
So, moving away from the nature of universities, because that is a stressful topic to talk about sometimes, especially now. Let's go back to something that we all enjoy, and that is music. And Canada has produced a lot of talented music artists. I mean, one
Six
artist
God.
in part. Hmm? Yes.
Six
I mean,
God.
Ahmed, would you like to further, go into who that sixth god is?
Who the sixth God is? Audrey?
Oh my
Aubrey?
god.
Aubrey
Damn
Gray?
Drake fanboy, dude.
Aubrey Graham out here. What's up? You already
Oh,
know.
here we
It's
go. Here we go.
Degrassi. No, okay. I
I mean,
mean,
let's just make it simple. Let's make an easy question. What is it about Drake that's so good compared to the rest of the artists? I
ooh,
feel like this would be a bit insulting to a
wait,
lot of
that's
Drake fans.
yo, that's a tough question though.
That is.
Oh,
Ooh. We let the six god fanboy start first.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
of
Yes.
course, of course. I've pretty much been
Let him
sharing this.
nerd out first, then we can talk facts.
I mean, to be honest, I think the Drake appeal isn't just of his music; it's just the way he is too. I feel like he's a cultural icon at this point, and like, although as unfortunate it is, people just, like even if he drops a song that isn't that good, people jump on it and it's like, yo, that's hype because it's Drake. He's become a household name at this point in the music industry, and he's that guy. You know what I mean? I won't say he's as big as Michael Jackson because that's like going way too far. But I mean, like the the grandeur behind his name is in that realm where people who don't even listen to Drake know who Drake is. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
Drake. Okay, realistically, who here listens to a lot of Drake besides probably me and Amir? I don't know how much Jason listens to him.
I mean,
Probably
I
I'm a
listen.
casual.
decent
I
amount.
listen
like
to a lot.
casually
Yeah,
A decent
casual.
amount. A decent amount. Yeah.
I think you probably listen to
I
Drake
feel
the
like I'm the
least.
least, and I
Yeah,
still listen to him. Yeah,
but
like
even then, you listen to him and you know who he is and how big of a icon he is, right? Like
that's true.
it's self-explanatory in that sense. For me personally, I love his music because the words he's just saying in all of every song is pretty much okay. Maybe not recently, but a lot of his songs are very relatable, and it's very much about you know not only his struggles with women particularly, which is a meme, but also his struggles in life and how he overcomes them and just spreading somewhat of a positive message. Um, and for me
Hmm.
personally, it's very big because especially after moving to Toronto, and I've had my mind as Amir preluded. I had my mindset on Toronto for a while, so almost I'm a Toronto man's at this point. So he is the physical representation of Toronto in a person. That's so to me. Obviously, when I say Six God and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, but he also, in a sense, put Toronto as a city very much on the map. People before would still knew Toronto as that city in Canada, but like I feel like everyone knows what Toronto is now because of people like Drake. But yeah, I think he's just an icon. He's unique. His brand, he set himself up in a way where Drake is a brand that is recognized worldwide. And the fact that my mom and dad know who Drake is proves it. That's all I'm saying. Like he's
I mean,
he's gone across multiple generations. So
he's
yeah.
a well-versed entrepreneur too, right? Like with his
Yes, exactly.
I mean, he technically brought the Toronto Raptors to what it is. Well, I mean, influence
I
aside,
mean,
like
yeah. I think the Raptors also blew up even more after he became an investor. Like more people, if you didn't even watch the NBA, I feel like people started with like, oh, yo, Raptors, Drake. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
That type of
He's has
relation.
such a big influence, and even like they had a jersey like designed by the OVO.
Oh yeah,
OVO,
Oh
the
yeah,
yeah,
his
OVO
brand, his
jersey.
training
brand,
kit,
Yeah.
right?
which is his. Yeah, the training kit was OVO. They had an
And
exclusive release where it was gold
And
and white.
the statement kit and even the stadium, like the floors,
there's the
they
OVO
had like
facility.
The
yeah, the
OVO
OVO
facility, which
facility.
is where the Raptors practice.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, let's focus on his like the musical side of him, because like Drake in itself could be a podcast, correct? Like
I
this
agree with that.
Yes,
so
I
nachos.
can talk about him
endearing.
for hours, bro.
Uh-huh. Let's cut to the chase.
Mm.
Like, what's your favorite Drake album?
I like this. I
I
like
Oh,
don't.
this.
Why do I feel like this is such a loaded question? But
Yo,
anyway,
Take
who
Care is Drake's greatest album. Don't at me, Amir, dude.
Blasphemous.
Yo, let's go, bro.
Blasphemous.
Let's get into it, dude. Okay, let's go down the list. Actually, let's do everyone's. Let's do it. Mine is Take
Oh
Care
yeah.
personally.
Right. Mine is
Aaron, yeah,
nothing
Amir.
was mine was nothing the same. Hands down.
Aaron.
Hmm. Interesting,
Even
interesting.
even as a casual listener, I mean, most of his
Uh,
albums. I feel.
yeah, but I've only started listening to albums per se like a year and a half ago. Like I never really used to listen to albums as a whole. Um, so I can't really say Take Care because I still haven't done my full listen of Take Care. Um, I know y'all gonna give me shit for this, but
No,
no,
you're good.
I'll say More Life. I like More Life a lot.
More Life was a good one.
Yeah, I
Yo,
really
that's a
like More Life.
playlist, bro. It's not an album.
Wait a minute. I remember a certain Abid giving mad smack talk about more life.
Yeah,
I,
I remember
No,
that as
I
well.
agree. I don't think that's his best work, but I'm not saying it's the worst. Well, after Scorpion, my opinion changed
Okay.
True.
eventually.
True.
Alright.
what was Scorpion actually? Cap.
That's a different podcast on its own. Anyway, Jason, what's your favorite Drake album?
For me, I've said it's been Take Care, but lately I've been it's a hard to deciding between Nothing Was the Same and
Yo, man,
Take
was
Care.
about, dude. I swear, if he said views, I would have smacked Jason, dude.
Dude,
Uh,
it's views was
Nah,
decent,
views is a
but
banger
nothing.
album in my opinion, but at the same time, bruh.
there, there are tears to this.
But nothing was it's hard between Nothing Was the Same or Take Care. But I'd say as of right now,
On a
Take Care.
production value, on a production value, what do you think? is the right answer.
Yo, that's a different question, fam.
What do
Production
you mean?
value? Production, I'd
Oh,
say
we're asking
it's the same.
favorite, right?
We're
Okay.
just asking favorite at the moment, dude.
I
Yo,
see you. I see you. I see you.
yo.
But hey,
Okay,
I'll answer Amir's question. Production wise, I'd say nothing was the same.
understood.
That was later too, so I would agree with it. It was 2 years late or a year later, so obviously
Yeah,
production. Anyway,
Yeah.
so your favorite album is between the two. Pick one. Is it
Hmm?
nothing was the same?
Yeah, he picked Take Care.
no, I picked Take Care for now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good.
How about
I
you?
mean,
Jude,
if
yeah,
you have
your
to
favorite.
Hello.
Yeah,
I,
good.
I said
Damn.
I
Yeah,
am
good.
the least familiar with Drake. But I think the only album that I've actually like managed to like listen to repeatedly was Take Care, because that was early on in his career too.
Facts.
I think it's less of Drake's music style not fitting with my taste more than me not being able to like vibe with Western music later on. I mean, my love for K-pop is another
All right,
episode in
dude. You
itself.
listen to Mando
Oh,
Pop and K-pop exclusively,
Mando
dude.
pop, yeah.
Mando pop,
oh,
bro. Mando
K-pop
pop.
I'm
exclusive.
Oh, Canto
uh,
Pop too. C-pop
also
Right.
yeah,
Yo,
too.
Quantum Pop
down. I
too.
am
Filipino
down.
pop,
Jude and I
Malay
can
pop.
talk about it.
Malay
Also
Pop coming soon, dude.
oh my gosh, yeah, but you know, I can see Take Care as my go-to. Was my go-to.
Oof.
All
I
right,
mean,
but like,
yeah. Go for it,
mhm.
Can I
Jude.
can I just remind you
No,
guys? How old were you guys when you listened to Take Care?
that's a good
First
See,
time
question.
I heard
I
it
didn't.
properly, I was. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, Jason, you can go.
No, I just wanted to say like I didn't listen to it when it first came out. That's all I had to say.
I didn't listen to it when it first
Oh,
came out, but I remember when I first listened to it, and that
Yeah.
was 2014. So it was
She's
after
making out
Nothing
like
Was the Same.
yeah,
she's making out that he listened to
2014,
it.
right?
Bro,
No,
Jude
I mean
Jude
like,
is the boomer dad in the group, so it
That
makes
is true.
sense.
That is true.
I mean,
I
I think
can rock.
the earliest I could pinpoint was probably like right before CPU. It's the first time I actually
Yeah,
like, oh,
so
okay,
yeah,
it's pretty good.
it's roughly the same for
Which
me.
is
2015,
2014,
2014, 15.
2015. Yeah,
4 years after
Yeah,
it came
around
out.
then.
3 years
but
after it came out. 2 years for me.
No, he said
uh-huh.
2015. It came out 2011.
Yeah,
2012.
it's been a while. I didn't listen to Drake as soon as it came out. I mean, I remember Drake. The first time I got exposed to his music was with Rihanna, right? Like,
Oh man, you
oh
are a
nah
history,
nah,
bro. I'm trolling you,
what's
bro.
my name? That
Yeah,
was
banger, banger.
Calvin Harris, eh?
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
Oh
Calvin
no,
Harris
that
put
was
Rihanna on the map. Facts. Come
Oh,
on.
that's a different song. My bad.
wait
My
a
bad.
minute.
Yeah, low
My
key,
My
bad,
bad.
my
My
low
bad,
key,
bad.
low
sorry.
key.
Yeah,
Okay.
anyway, Amir, it seems like you're the one with the differing opinion in terms of favorite
Oh,
album. What's up? What's your take on the?
Okay,
What's your reasoning behind it?
I'll point out. Take Care is Drake's most impressive album. He made it. He made sad rap how it is right now. He was a
Big
pioneer
facts.
of things.
Big facts.
And
Alright,
not only that,
relax.
he might literally have his best song on the album.
Mm-hmm.
But coming after what was the album called? Wait, give me a second. Thank Me Later. I think he had to change his music style up. Like before that, and even during this album, he was going off this southern accent, right? Like this Memphis type of lingo.
He found
Yeah.
his own voice really.
Yeah,
He was trying to be something he wasn't in the first two albums. I agree with that.
right. I feel as though he's still uncomfortable in this album in Take Care, even though he's I mean you expect that because he's trying to touch on themes such as discomfort and like dismissed connections and relationships that makes him like ponder on these type of things. Uh, like track wise, track wise, it's pretty decent. It's pretty great compared to his previous singles. Uh,
Yo, Amir straight up sounds like a critic here, dude.
Yeah, facts.
Look at
It's
that,
pretty,
like
pretty
Take Care.
decent.
For real, my rebuttal was about to be, yo, just cause it's better, bro.
Walk it
Damn,
off,
now I
bro.
gotta think. Walk it off.
I mean, I have to preface this. Like, I didn't exactly grow up with like, this current like generation of like, you have to go with every album to show your to show your
Nah, same here, same here.
show
Feel
that
that.
you're a fan, or to show that you're bumping to these dudes or to these mans. But
Mhm.
you listen to him sometimes, like maybe during soundtracks for like for video games, or you listen to him on the radio, like spontaneously or word of mouth. And that really happened for me during Nothing Was the Same. Like
Mhm.
paraphrasing his words, like I'd say he found his groove on Nothing Was the Same. He labeled it as a nighttime, like a nighttime groove where you can just bump it with your friends, or
I
just to
agree.
take the release off of things. And you know I think I built most of my friendships around this album as well. And like Nothing Was the
Mhm.
Same was around 2013, I'd say.
Yeah, it
And
was.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
that that was the time where like most of my year would just be off getting our licenses. So you know getting our cars and just bumping to Drake the moment the moment you just drive into to a Mackie D's. It's like it's a feeling that you get like no other,
Yeah.
especially like, as an album so complete as Nothing's the Same.
Hmm.
And it's a
For
very
take Yeah, sorry.
yeah. I
uh
mean, it's a very personal experience, you know. I mean, like what you experience with Nothing Is the Same, because it's different too, where you've actually vibed with the album the minute it got released, whereas yeah, I pointed out like Take Care only started becoming a consistent hit with me like later on, right? Yeah,
I
a
prefer.
bit.
to make it more of an open mind, sorry.
Mhm. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
uh to make it more of like uh, a bigger topic. I feel like Take Care was more of an R&B album, so that's where I felt he was more uncomfortable with. Where before
Oh.
this, he was more towards like this nitty gritty rap, trying to prove himself.
Yeah.
That mood.
Mhm.
Nothing was the same as where I felt he found that niche. He found that he
R&B rap sound, yeah.
the R&B sound rap, or inclusive of rap type of cohesion, where he'd still want to like be more open about his feelings, but also trying to be more aggressive, trying to be more intertwined with his feelings, in case of in place of other artists trying to find some lyrics in his tracks.
Yeah. It did feel very genuine.
Mhm.
Yeah. I personally, I don't think uh Take Care at the time it was not well received. It was more. It felt more received as the years go by.
Ooh.
Um, because
Not true, but
and
sure.
I have an argument for that
Not
though.
true, but sure.
Yeah.
at least from my point of view,
Bro,
and I feel like
Take Care itself was a big
nothing
ass
was the
song
same.
back then.
I mean, nothing was the same to me was more of Drake's more lyrical album rather
Mm.
than it's a completely different vibe from Take Care. That's why it's also kind of hard to choose between the two for me. If you want to vibe, or do you just want to just listen for straight bars and all. Not to say he doesn't have any bars um, Take Care, but
No one
yeah.
was
Where
implying
did
that shit.
that come from, dude? That
Yeah,
was from
that was
left
crazy.
field, dude. I don't know where Drake got no bars.
Yo,
Yeah.
Abid, where's your big case with Take Care, dude? Like, what's your argument for it? Other than
Bro,
the fact that it's
my argument isn't as concise as Amir's, sounding like a proper music critic out here.
Just
I
music
do want
fan
to
in
say,
general. So
yes, I too have watched that said podcast where Drake does in fact say he found himself with Nothing Was the Same. But anyway,
Might sound salty,
I,
though.
I don't sound salty. The only thing I'm salty about is now I have to try to sound proper when I was literally just gonna be like, yo, bro, you Take Care best, bro. But
I mean,
anyway,
I mean, you can go for it, but you have to have like reasons for it as well.
True, true.
If you can
Well,
do
I
that,
think
go
Take
for
Care
it.
is best purely because of lyrical content to a certain extent. I think it's two different vibes. As I agree with Jason on that. I think it's two different vibes,
Yeah.
and also, I mean, I won't expect you to personally relate to something as much as I will. To you know what I mean. So I think personal relations or that sort of mindset is what influences my decision a lot. I relate to every single song on Take Care. I think that's why my opinion is so biased in a way, but as an opinion should be. Um, but I also think he had really good features on that song. Obviously with Rihanna and Nicki Minaj in her prime.
He paid
Lil
Rick
Wayne.
Ross little buckets of money though. I see you.
Yes, sir. No, but the features were good. I think lyrical content was really good too. It spewed some of his biggest hits. I think the biggest difference between Nothing Was the Same and Take Care in my eyes is that Take Care was a little more appealing to the pop market, whereas Nothing Was the Same was more for people who genuinely like lyrical stuff.
And
So I think,
that
mhm.
puzzles me in some ways because Take Care actually won best rap album, right, in the Grammys
I mean
that
the
year.
Grammys are bullshit anyway,
That's
dude.
crazy.
But yeah,
That is
That's
true.
but yeah,
that's facts.
Grammys are
For
bullshit
R&B
anyway.
album,
But
no
yeah,
less.
yeah, I agree. But
Grammys are fucked.
I mean that also feel like speaks at length to our characters. I feel I know for a fact that although you said you hung out with your friends and stuff and just listen to Drake, I know for a fact you're more of a person who enjoys that type of lyrical style and just bars and bars and bars.
Lyrical,
Whereas
spiritual
me,
miracle.
That is-
Yeah.
yes, exactly. For me more so, I'm more of if the beat is good and the words are meaningful, but in the most not in the maybe not most complicated way, I vibe with it more. What I'm trying to say, it's all personal preference, and I really love Take Care because I relate to it a lot. And I feel like you said the same thing, except you said it dropped when it came out for you, and you had special memories attached to it, just like I did when I was sitting in my room alone listening to Take Care for the first time, and I was like, damn,
So,
yo,
so the main thing
yo,
is we can't really
facts.
argue preferences, can't we?
I agree.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is which album is Drake in a nutshell? Which is quintessential Drake?
Oh,
And that for
oh,
me was Nothing
ooh.
Was the Same. Because Take Care,
If you're
I
reading this,
agree.
it's too late, dude. That's if you're reading this, it's too late. That's quintessential Drake, in my opinion. But at the same time, I do somewhat agree with you, but I don't know. I would still say Take Care. I don't know, just the wording and stuff. Although he doesn't obviously change, as we discussed, he found himself and his sound more, and Nothing Was the Same. I think what he was speaking about in Take Care really set a precedent for generations to come.
Well, you kind of backtrack your answer there because he just said that quintessential album was. If you're reading this, it's too
uh,
late.
No, no,
So,
I was
what
memeing
is
that.
it?
I was memeing that. That was a meme.
Okay, I
I
see.
was
All right.
memeing that. I was memeing
Okay,
that.
I wasn't sure. We weren't sure.
No, no, I was memeing that. My bad. I was actually memeing that hard.
yo,
I'm not even fucking backtracking because you called me out.
none of y'all talking about more life, bro. Passion
More Life was
100 miles
underrated
away.
AF though. Underrated
Hey,
Passion
AF.
with
Nah,
would you like
you
to
want to talk about his best
Underrated.
album, boys? We're fucking missing the ball, boys. We gotta talk about Scorpion, bro. 24 track
Yo,
banger.
Scorpion, bro.
Hot trash.
Yo. It
God's
wasn't even,
plan.
dude, it wasn't even hot. It was
God's
just trash.
plan.
My days.
It was just
Yo,
trash.
as
I
as
don't know
trash as that
about
album was, he had three. He beat uh, whoever for maintaining Billboard Hot 100 with 3 tracks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's because his
Beat Michael
popularity.
Jackson, right?
That's because
Yeah, that's what I'm
God's
saying.
plan was a
But at the
bop.
same time, I'm just saying like
Oh,
as
okay.
trash as I mean that's an achievement. That's all I'm saying.
That
It's
is
an
true,
achievement.
right? Yeah.
It's an achievement.
I don't
I'd
know.
say that,
I feel like
that some of
Drake
could
could
be
put
dry as
anything
well.
out. Drake could put anything out and it'd be listened to worldwide. I think
like
he's at the
2C Side was
stage.
such a meme, dude.
Yeah, like Drake is at the stage or he's at the size where he could release anything, and Drake OG fans may look at it and say this is dirt shit, but it would still be number one on the Billboard. Like
Facts.
he's just that big now.
Just because, as I said before, like he's just that guy now, right?
Yeah, he's just that big.
Everyone will listen no matter what.
Yeah, like
You ride with him, you know what's Drake and what's not, but you still like appreciate what he's done.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of
There's
like
no way anyone can
yeah.
discredit that.
I mean,
right?
it's kind of like Kanye in my opinion, where Kanye's been putting out a bunch of in my opinion shit. He's been putting out a lot of shit. Right?
Second your opinion.
Yeah.
Vouch.
Yeah, because I know that if anyone's a hardcore Kanye fan, they may come at me, but in my opinion, he's been putting out a lot of shit, and he's been very inconsistent. But because of the size and because of the place he has in a lot of people's hearts, as you know, OG Kanye was so big, and he still is pretty big. No matter what he puts out, no matter how he abuses the fans with his music, they still listen, they still buy his album. So Drake's at that stage as well, or past that
Yeah.
actually.
You
Yeah.
dish out these two artists like Kanye, Drake, and like they're not at their best at this current climate. Going towards the mainstream, you'd say.
I think Drake is in his space actually. I think Kanye is not.
Yeah.
I think he's getting back to his space. He really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he really
Kanye?
hit the spot with laugh. No, fucking Drake.
Not.
Kanye.
Laugh now, cry later. I feel like is a resurgence in
Yeah.
what
That is
Drake
a
and
very
I'm
Drake
music
song.
excited.
is.
It got me
Everything
excited
before
for
that was
Liverpool.
kinda what the hell is going on right now? Like 2C Slide and even the mixtape that you dropped before that. I was like, what is going on? Man's
Certified-
British Drake now.
Wait, I mean,
Yeah, what is it?
go for it, Justin.
Dark Lane demo tape? Was that? Was
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Dark
was
Lane
that what it
Memphis,
is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the proper name.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I mean, look, the fact that we can have an ongoing debate about Drake's music is enough of a barometer in itself, right? Like, if we step back and look at it, like his albums burst within like a multitude of genres, and like each album has its own different, unique set of styles that people endear to, and I think that's credit to his own like brand itself, his own name. I think that's the most important thing, regardless. Like opinions are opinions, but yeah, there's only a handful of artists we can have similar debates about, right? And I think that was the most enduring feature of Drake as an artist itself, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. hmm Well, on a lighter note, let's go to our question of the week. I mean, questions from the past podcasts have been regarding travel, and I feel like it's a relevant thing because of the restrictions the pandemic has wrought. So it's just nice to step back and think about times when we could do certain things. With that, the question of the week is, what is your favorite train ride? Whether it be recurrent or an individual moment. I'll give you my answer, right? So to repeat the question again, what is your favorite train ride ever? Train ride. It doesn't have to be It doesn't have to be something you go every day.
Man's
Could
about to
be.
hit you with a KTM, bro.
Wow, Abid, I didn't know about that.
Are you talking about a moment or a favorite like
No, you see, it could be a
favorites?
moment. It could be a recurrent route that you
Route.
take.
Oh.
Interesting.
If you guys
Wait,
want,
is
I'm
this-
going to speak first because I have
Sure.
a pretty short answer. My favorite train ride would probably be the MRT. You know, for those that don't know, Malaysia has a rail line called the MRT, which is fairly new.
We're talking about the Malaysian one.
Yeah, the MRT. What else would I be talking about? The fuck?
Singapore MRT, bro.
Oh, fuck.
Singapore MRT.
Do I look like
Oh,
I give a
that
shit,
shit's
dude?
superior though. Jurong to the other side, yo, easy, bro.
Yeah. The Malaysian MRT is actually really nice. It's spacious. It's new.
Wow.
Malaysians aren't good at maintaining shit, so I'm kind of enjoying it while it lasts since it's pretty clean and fresh right now. And I used to take the MRT to my old uni, Help. So I used to take the LRT to Pasar Seni and the MRT to my university. And it's usually, when I used to take it back then, it was fairly empty because when they made it, what do you call it? When they made it, not many people knew knew about it, or not many people wanted to try it. They didn't fit it into their normal schedules. So yeah, it was just really nice. It was a very calming ride, and when you look out the window, you could on the way to my university, you would see the golf course. So it was a pretty nice ride. So yeah, that would be my favorite route.
The MRT is a good one. Yeah, I think we've all experienced it. At least
Shout
most
outs
of us have.
Bombardier.
Mhm.
Canada.
Amit,
It's a Canada episode. Gotta do it.
is
Oh,
your
me?
favorite train in Canada?
No.
Interesting.
Oh, yes, it is actually. Even though that's tough, man. It's tough. But I would say I'll go for route because the train in
Sure.
Toronto is pretty old. But getting from my university to downtown Toronto, although it was quite an adventure to be honest, using public transit, taking that train was one of my favorite things because it went from underground to overground, and just you know sitting there seeing very different people. Like you'll see the weirdest, not weirdest, but like the most diverse amount of people, whether it be culturally, racially, or just people in general. You just see so many types of people and so many things on that train. And then you also, when you're overground, you see how beautiful all of Toronto really is. So I would probably say that because I mean I've taken it too many times and I generally just enjoyed that train ride. Even though they have network connection down there, they refuse to allow for mobile signal to go through. And I'm just sitting there listening to music the entire time, but the view is very nice. And also, you have very interesting encounters. There was one time where this homeless guy was on the train and he was blasting music in a old speaker or boombox, and everyone on the train was very confused as to what was going on. It was very interesting. He was playing some very profane music too.
Sounds interesting.
But
Sounds like a
quite
once
an
in a lifetime.
experience. You also see a lot of high and drunk people, so that's always fun. But yeah.
Wow. Amir?
Uh, I'd say the train ride to Monaco from Nice. That's been
Wow.
pretty.
Yo,
That's very
European
interesting.
train
Go with
superior though.
Japan.
I will say that.
Yeah,
I will say that European
in
trains hit
in a way, I was
different.
surprised. I was expecting like a worse experience than the subways in New York in some regard. I don't know why. It's just like a preconception of mine. But I had the most space I've ever felt. Like imagine a movie theater just for yourself. And it was like a 1 hour and a half train ride. Even though it's going pretty slow, you get some scenic views and the sort. So it was pretty scenic as well along the way. And I remember bringing a book along the way, and nobody caring what you do, or nobody caring for the stubs. I guess another part of it is they didn't really check your stubs because it was a race weekend in Monaco that weekend. So
Oh, it was the Grand Prix.
yeah, I don't think a lot of people paid for the tickets, so I think it was free, and I was a scrub for paying for it, so I could have saved a lot of money there.
Rest in
I
peace.
and just
Same.
I just add the extra. I find this question very interesting because remember when we did those quizzes, like those friend quizzes, and then we just link one for each
Yes.
other, and we
Yeah,
just
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
do those. I think one of the
Uh-huh.
questions is what do you enjoy the most? It's like like in my set of questions, it's like train rides, plane rides, bus rides, or I'd say car rides. I put train rides, so I find this very interesting.
Oh,
it's
oh,
like it's like everything
what
coming
an
in full
actual
circle.
like intersection. Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, I find
Interesting.
this very.
Yeah, it's a very interesting answer, though, Amir, in your thoughts. But yeah, Jason?
Oh man.
Wait. Okay. Sounds like you're
For me,
exasperated. Okay, go on.
for me, I'll probably say, the bullet train rides in Japan.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Oh
mean,
my god, I missed that.
it's a
Yeah, a Malaysian MRT, Satu Malaysia,
MRT,
bro.
bro.
Fuck.
kind of surprised
Fuck.
me.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jason, go,
yeah.
Jason, go.
But yeah, it's just a different experience just seeing um the city of Tokyo and how fast It used to be in a puller train, and it kind of reminded of some scenes in animated movies. Uh, I'm a weeb, I
Oh,
guess. Yeah, you
anime, not animated. Let's get that
100%.
shit
Oh,
straight,
I
dude.
I agree. I agree.
sorry, bro.
Shinkansen, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Yes, all the way.
Facts,
Okay,
facts. But yeah,
it's true.
it's. Then I took a train. The train ride to like the Tokyo Disney area was really nice as well. You just got to see the different side of Tokyo as well. So it's just really eye opening. And then you just plugged in, listening to your favorite music. That was just really fun. Because I don't really take trains that often, as
I see.
um unless I'm on vacation. But yeah,
I mean, I'm glad you talked about Japan because that's also my answer. Like, I still
yes,
remember a
sir.
route too. It's from Asakusa to Shibuya, to one of the Tokyo subways. Yeah, like I remember that was my first train experience in Japan, and it just felt fulfilling, right? Because I think list. Um, so yeah, I'm not that familiar with anime, so like I don't know the cultural context, but I do know that Japan subways are considered, like they're a cultural icon as well because of how crowded they are, and I did experience that because I went through rush hour. It's a good experience overall, right? Like it just felt good fulfilling something in your bucket list. So that's why it's so memorable to me, right? And it's been a while since like we've all rode in a train. So do you still remember the memory of like putting on your earphones and listening to your favorite jams? Like it feels like a bit distant now. That's why we're gonna shed some light back to those jams because it's
Oh,
time for our songs of the
yo,
week.
that transition was like
Oh
sex.
my god, dude.
So
Holy
let's
Just
shit.
came.
start.
I just came, bro.
Reminds me of
Damn.
Top Gear,
Oh,
dude.
Okay, hold up, hold
wait.
up,
Are
hold
we
up.
adding this to the
There's a part of
wait.
me that actually believes Jason, and I'm kind of scared.
Because Christian podcast, bro. Come on. Calm down with the language.
We're, we're including this.
You have to cut
Let's
that
start.
out, Jason.
No, we're including this. Let's start with the usual. Ahmed, what are
Fuck's sake.
your two songs of the week, bro?
Uh, Alright. My songs of the week are first one's "Giddy Up" by Internet Money. It has Wiz Khalifa and 24 Golden on it. Yo, Wiz is back, baby. But no, that song's just a good vibe. The beat is amazing. I feel like that's a recurring theme in all my song recommendations.
Nick Mirror, bro.
But
It's a Nick Mirror
yeah,
beat.
it's a Nick Mira beat. If you don't know who Nick Mira is, look him up. Um, the
It's
vibes
okay.
are really well done. It's a good song, although lyrically maybe not the best, but it's a good vibe, gets you in a good mood, and it just hypes you up. On the other
Mhm.
spectrum, my second song is called All Right, and it's by Catchy. Um, Somewhat of a sad song. um, I don't know. It's one of my favorite songs of his. It just, I mean, when I'm pondering life and stuff, it's a good thing to have in the background. And even if you're just chilling out, it's also a good song. It just reminds you that you know you're all right.
Damn.
Yeah, those are my song
That's deep.
recommendations for the week.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro.
Yeah, you sounded as if you were into it, Ahmed, so we didn't want to disturb you there.
Yes, sir.
So, all right.
Said
But
I'm all
Aaron?
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yes, sir.
Are you all right?
That's a loaded question, dude. That's a loaded question for a different podcast.
And whenever you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, my two songs of the week would be okay. One is a bit of a throwback. "Never Been" by Logic from The Incredible True Story. I think
Banger.
this is a really good song, and basically the context of the song is it's talking about how he's persevered through all the hardships he's been through, and after persevering through it and getting to the light at the end of the tunnel, he realized that it's all worth it, and that you should always keep fighting through because you're gonna catch a break eventually. And I think it's a really nice meaning, and it still applies to today's day and age, right? Considering it's such an old song. But the next one would be the Stees. My boy Josh introduced this song to me sometime earlier this week. It's it's a really vibey song. It's nothing too deep, and it kind of gives me like a '90s R&B feel. like a yeah, it's very jazzy. It's kind of like Trey songs, and I feel like they don't really make music like this anymore. Not that I've heard of recently. So it's really nice. So yeah, the Steez and Never Been.
Yeah, that's interesting. Amir?
Okay. Since I found out that the main thing of the podcast is about Canada, I wanted to put a
Whoa.
Canadian like
Ooh.
Let's go,
artist.
baby.
Drake and Drake lead.
666. Hey
Oh
man, we
wait,
have
it,
more
it's
people
not
than
Drake.
Drake.
It is not Drake though.
We have The Weeknd
Yes.
and Drake.
You have
Sorry,
Wait,
go
Nickelback.
on.
You have Nickelback
what
yet.
happened to Justin Bieber? But anyway, go
We
back.
have Bieber, we have Avril Lavigne. Dude, the end list is endless. Anyway,
I
go
can't
on.
believe Buble isn't in your top five. That I'm kind of shocked.
Huh?
No, I mean like the list
Wait,
of
me?
artists. Yeah, the list of artists you just
Why
pointed out.
would, dude? If that should be Jude's list, not mine. I don't listen to Buble. Anyway, sorry,
Anyway,
go
I'm
on.
here.
Shoot, shoot,
Anyway,
shoot, shoot.
alright, first song is "Best of Me" by Sum 41. Uh,
Let's go, baby.
let's fucking go. I mean, this
Banger.
song is basically where, well, when I think, I'm not sure if he broken up with the main singer of the main vocalist of the band broken up with broke up with Avril Lavigne as of yet. It's a really sad song, and I think it just goes well with the times that we're living right now.
Mhm.
Second song is a new one that just came out by Nas. Car number 85. You know, King of New York all that. Shout outs to Chadwick Boseman. I
Okay.
feel as though
Shout
he
outs, dude. Shout outs.
this whole album was paying homage to him as well. So this this song this song is basically predicated on his youth growing up, and made me think and look at Nas going back as a storyteller and stuff. Yeah.
Mhm. Jason?
My first song would be Lighter by KSI and Nathan Daw, but the acoustic version.
Yes,
I,
sir.
I
Um,
still haven't listened to it.
I mean, her vocals, Ella Henderson, I
Dude,
think
Ella
that's her
Henderson's
name.
vocals are insane, dude.
Holy,
Insane.
it definitely puts a different twist to the song, a different mood of the song as well, because you actually hear her singing, and it's not over a heavy EDM beat. It definitely hits different. And then KSI too, his verse is definitely, is a lot more emotional rather than flexing his jewelry in the original version.
Yeah, it's very
But
personal.
anyway, yeah, it's a lot more personal, and that's why I really love it so much. And my second song would be How We Rock by Higher Music. Um, Higher Music is a label found by J Park, so it has it's just a straight vibes, man. PH1, Haon, K, and the other members in the label. It's a straight banger, bars bars on
Vouch.
bars,
Vouch.
and
That sounds amazing.
it's groovy room, man. Groovy room on the beat,
Yes,
crazy.
sir.
Yeah. So those are my songs.
Mhm. I mean, well, my two songs of the week are the first one is a Korean ballad. Well, it's been a while, but I'm
Let's
finally back.
go.
It's
Jude
by
back,
Keeper,
dude.
The Moment My Heart. Uh, it's part of the project with She Is My Type. So it's a very emotional song. I love it. It's my OG musical style. And the second one is actually a clash of musical styles as well, because it's BTS. It's their new single, and it's
Banger.
completely English. But I actually like when I listened to it, I didn't know they were BTS, right? So like the first time I was hearing it, it was one of my Spotify playlists, and it was all English, and I was like, wow, they sound like BTS, and they are BTS. It was an interesting interesting dynamic, right? 'Cause I got introduced to a BTS song without knowing like first of all without seeing the video and without knowing that they were BTS. It just feels refreshing. Like yeah, so I feel like this song will be more enjoyed by people in general. It's not just a K-pop niche anymore, and they've grown as a band. So yeah, I definitely recommend. dynamite, if that's what it's called. So yeah, um, with that, it's a wrap. So Amir, thank you for joining us for this episode,
Thanks for
and to
having me.
ATS, yo, yeah, thank
Yes.
you once again.
Thanks for having
Um,
us.
hmm To the ATS
Wait,
boys,
what?
thank you. Wait, what? What did?
Thanks for having us. Wait,
Yes,
this is
yeah.
our podcast. Wait
Oh
a
yeah,
minute.
shit, you're right, Doug. Whoops,
Nice
dude.
cut.
No, it felt like it was felt like a guest, dude.
Damn,
Easy.
bro.
You're right.
Must be the
You
must
on the
be the
Canada
Canadian.
podcast, bro.
Yeah,
Be the
I'm on
Canadian.
the North American podcast today, dude. Guest. Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, you know,
Uh,
thank you, listeners, to tuning in to the ATS cast. Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
ciao.
Au
Take care.
revoir.